Success is mostly about how you think. That's 80% of the battle. You might be surprised how much your mindset shapes your whole life. It's not about being the smartest or luckiest person in the room. It's about how you handle challenges, what you tell yourself when things get tough, and whether you keep going when others give up. Have you ever noticed how some people stay calm, confident, and focused even when everything feels like it's falling apart? That's not chance, that's mindset. It's the way they train their thoughts to work for them, not against them. Your thoughts control your habits, your actions, and eventually your results. If you want to change your life, it starts with changing your mind. That means being honest with yourself, pushing through fear, and taking ownership of your choices every single day. This video will guide you through how to do just that, how to build a mindset that pulls you towards success no matter what. This is not about quick fixes, it's about real change that lasts. If you're ready, let's get started. Chapter 1. Change how you think to change your life. Success doesn't begin when you get a new job. It doesn't start when someone else believes in you. It starts the moment you decide that the way you think needs to change. Success is not about luck. It's not about timing. It's not about what other people give you. It's about how you train your mind to respond to life. Your results will always match your thoughts. If you think like a quitter, you will quit. If you think like a winner, you will find a way to win even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when no one is watching. Most people wait for life to get easier before they change the way they think. That's the mistake. Life never gets easier, it only gives you new problems, and if your mind is weak, every small challenge will feel like the end of the world. But if your mind is strong, even the biggest problems feel like something you can work through. You must get to a place where you no longer react emotionally to everything that goes wrong. Instead, you think clearly, you respond with purpose. You ask yourself, what now? Not why me? You've got to stop thinking like a victim. You've got to stop expecting someone else to come and fix your situation. That mindset keeps you small. It keeps you tired. It keeps you broke. The truth is, no one is coming. You are the one who must decide that enough is enough. If you keep waiting, you will keep suffering. But if you change the way you think, your life begins to change almost instantly. It starts with small thoughts. A decision to take responsibility, a decision to stop blaming, a decision to learn, a decision to try again. These small thoughts turn into beliefs, and those beliefs guide your behavior. Before you know it, you're doing the work you used to avoid. You're sticking with the routine you used to quit. You're controlling the emotions you used to let run wild. Why? Because your mind is no longer working against you, it's working for you. But don't expect it to be easy. Your mind will fight back. It will try to protect you. It will say, stay safe, stay small, don't risk it. That's normal, but you can't listen to that voice anymore. It's not helping you. It's keeping you trapped in the same day over and over again. Every morning you wake up and feel the same frustration. That's a sign. That's your mind begging for change. You've got to train your mind like you train your body. Repetition, effort, consistency. You don't just think positive once and expect your life to change. You have to keep doing it, even when it feels fake, even when you're tired. You feed your mind with better thoughts, and slowly, those thoughts begin to shape the way you see yourself. And when your self-image changes, your standards change. You no longer tolerate the things that drain your energy. You no longer say yes to things that pull you backward. Changing your mindset isn't just about success in business or making money. It's about how you treat people. It's about how you treat yourself. It's about how you talk to your own mind when no one's around. When you fail, do you call yourself stupid, or do you say, I'm learning? When you feel scared, do you freeze? Or do you say, this means I'm growing? These are small things, but they decide the direction of your life. Look back at your last year. What kept you stuck? Was it your job, your environment, or was it the way you thought about those things? Did you tell yourself, I'll never figure this out? Did you tell yourself, I don't have time? Or did you tell yourself, I can get better? You see, it's not about what happens to you. It's about what you say to yourself about what happens. And if you change that story, you change the ending. The world rewards people who think differently, not just positive thinking, but clear thinking, real thinking, strategic thinking, thinking that says, I can build something here, I can get stronger from this, I can take one more step. That kind of mindset creates opportunities, it builds patience, it builds endurance, and those are the things that carry you when motivation disappears. Some people think they have a mindset problem when really they have a discipline problem, but the truth is, discipline starts in your thinking. If you believe the work is pointless, you won't do it. If you believe you're not good enough, you won't start. But if you believe in progress, if you believe that each day you show up, you are shaping the future you want, then discipline becomes natural. Not easy, but natural. You begin to show up not because you feel like it, but because it makes sense. Your life is not going to change because someone gives you permission. It changes when you decide to think on a higher level, when you decide to lead your mind instead of following your emotions. Feelings are temporary, but your mindset is permanent. If you train it, every single day, you are either training your mind to stay stuck, or you're training it to break through, and that's a choice. It's always a choice. Do not underestimate the power of your thoughts. They control your behavior. Your behavior creates your habits, and your habits build your life. So if you don't like the results you see, start by changing the way you think. Ask yourself better questions. Instead of saying, "Why is this so hard?" ask, "What can I learn right now?" Instead of saying, "I'll never be like them," ask, "What's one thing I can do today to grow?" You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to stay in the mindset of growth, of progress, of responsibility. Stop comparing your journey to someone else's. Their timing is not your timing. Their story is not your story. You've got your own steps to take. And if you stay locked into that truth, you stop wasting time. You stop chasing things that don't matter. You start building something real. You were not born with a fixed mindset. Somewhere along the way, life made you doubt yourself. Maybe it was a failure. Maybe it was a harsh voice. Maybe it was just fear. But now is the time to take that power back. You can't undo the past, but you can decide how it shapes your future. You can either let it define you or refine you. And if your mindset is strong, it will refine you. You don't rise to your goals. You rise to the level of your mindset. Goals are important, but they mean nothing if your mind isn't ready to chase them. That's why most people start and stop. They say they want it, but they haven't built the mental habits to keep going when it gets hard. You've got to think differently. You've got to say, "I will figure this out. I will try again. I will not be the person who quits." And when you start thinking like that, something changes inside of you. You walk differently. You talk differently. You wake up with purpose, not because everything is easy, but because you know why you're doing it. You've trained your mind to support you, not sabotage you. That is what makes all the difference. Success is 80% mindset. It's not the tools, it's not the information, it's not the strategy, it's how you show up every single day. It's what you think when no one's around. It's how you talk to yourself when things go wrong. It's whether or not you get back up when everything inside you wants to stay down. So if you want to change your life, don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for perfect timing. Change how you think. Build the habits that create real change. Train your mind to push through the resistance. Think like a builder. Think like a finisher. Think like someone who knows they are responsible for everything they become. Your future is in your hands, but it starts in your head. Think better. Live better. That's where success begins. Chapter 2. Build mental toughness by doing hard things daily. Most people want to be strong, but very few are willing to go through what strength actually requires. Mental toughness is not something you're born with. It's not a gift. It's a skill. It's something you build when you choose to do things that make you uncomfortable. Not once, not when life forces you, but every single day. That's how real strength is formed, not from talent, not from luck, but from doing the hard things on purpose. When you wake up and face things you'd rather avoid, you're building something in yourself that no one can take away. Every day, life gives you two choices: stay comfortable or grow stronger. You can take the easy path where nothing changes, or you can take the harder path where you build yourself from the inside out. That harder path doesn't get easier. What happens is you get stronger. You become the kind of person who doesn't run from pressure. You don't quit at the first sign of discomfort. You don't look for shortcuts. You develop the ability to handle stress without falling apart. And that's the kind of person who wins in life. Most people think mental toughness is about being aggressive or loud, but it's not. It's about being calm when everything around you is chaos. It's about being focused when your emotions are pulling you in every direction. It's about being consistent when no one is watching. It's when you get up early to do the work no one else wants to do, when you push through the second hour, even though you were ready to quit in the first, when you hold yourself to a higher standard, not because someone told you to, but because you decided you're not going to settle for less. The way you build mental toughness is simple to understand, but hard to live out. You do hard things daily, not because they're fun, not because they're easy, but because you know who you become when you do them. You take cold showers. You wake up before your body feels ready. You go to the gym when your legs are sore. You study when your brain wants to scroll. You speak up when you feel nervous. You follow through when no one is cheering for you. These daily decisions are small on the surface, but powerful over time. They shape your character. They shape your identity. You see, the real purpose of doing hard things isn't to prove anything to the world. It's to prove something to yourself. Every time you do what's uncomfortable, you're sending yourself a message. I don't back down. That message starts to change how you see yourself. You no longer identify as someone who gives up. You start to believe you can handle anything, and that belief becomes your power, because when life throws real problems your way, and it will, you don't collapse. You don't panic. You adjust. You breathe. You think clearly. That's what mental toughness gives you. But here's the part most people miss. Mental strength doesn't show up when you need it unless you've built it ahead of time. You don't become resilient in the middle of the storm. You become resilient by preparing for it before it comes. The daily training is where it happens, not when everything is going well, but when it's boring, when it's uncomfortable, when it's just you, the task, and your inner resistance. That's where you grow. You can't build mental toughness without discipline, and you can't build discipline without discomfort. That's why doing hard things daily is non-negotiable. It forces you to face the parts of yourself that want to escape, avoid and delay. It exposes your excuses. It shows you where your limits are, and then it challenges you to go one step further. That process may not feel good in the moment, but it's the process that turns weak minds into strong leaders. You don't need to do massive things to grow mentally tough. You just need to do the right small things consistently. Wake up without hitting snooze. Finish the task you started. Stick to your plan even when your mood changes. Tell the truth when it's uncomfortable. Push yourself for one more rep, one more page, one more hour. These moments feel small, but they're shaping your ability to handle life when it gets real. Because it will get real. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It tests you without warning, and the more you've trained yourself to handle stress in small doses, the more confident you are when the big tests come. Toughness is not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally stable. It means you feel things, but you don't let those feelings run your life. It means you're tired but still show up. You're discouraged but still take action. You're afraid but still move forward. That's strength. That's maturity. That's what separates people who succeed long-term from people who burn out and quit. When you do hard things every day, you take control back. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop needing perfect conditions. You stop asking for things to be easier. Instead, you get sharper. You get more focused. You build the ability to act no matter how you feel. And that's where your personal power comes from. Not what you do when it's easy, but what you do when it's hard. The world doesn't need more people who fold under pressure. It needs more people who can stand tall when things fall apart. And that kind of person isn't born. They are built, day by day, rep by rep, habit by habit. You must become someone who embraces pressure, not escapes it, who faces difficulty, not avoids it. Because the moment you start living that way, you become dangerous, not in a reckless way, but in a focused, unshakable, calm way. You become someone others depend on, someone others look to when things get rough, someone who doesn't crumble because life got tough, but who rises because they trained for it. This path isn't popular. Most people will tell you to be kind to yourself, to rest, to wait until you feel ready. But if you've been stuck for too long, that advice won't get you out. What will get you out is movement. What will wake up your strength is action. What will remind you of who you are is doing the thing you've been avoiding. Every day, choose the harder option. Do it with purpose. Do it with intensity. Do it even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching. And don't expect applause. Don't expect fast results. That's not the point. The point is to grow. The point is to become someone who doesn't need external rewards to do the right thing. Someone who lives with discipline, someone who earns their confidence through effort. That confidence will carry you farther than any praise ever could. That confidence will show up when you need to speak, lead, fight or rise, because you built it. The only way to become that version of you is to do the work, the hard work, every day. You don't get mentally tough from reading books or watching videos. You get mentally tough from showing up and doing the hard thing when you'd rather take the easy way out. You become strong by choosing the challenge instead of avoiding it. And the best part is this: once you build it, it stays with you. No one can take away the strength you earned. No situation can erase it. You carry it into every area of your life, your relationships, your health, your work, your goals. You become someone who no longer breaks under pressure. You bend, but you don't break. You adjust, but you don't retreat. That's who you are meant to be. That's who you become when you do hard things daily, not because you have to, but because you've made the decision to grow. And once you commit to that decision, everything in your life begins to shift. You don't need a perfect plan. You need courage. You don't need the right timing. You need consistency. You don't need motivation. You need to take the first hard step, and then the next, and the next. This is how mental toughness is built, not through words, but through action, through pressure, through daily discipline, through choices that stretch you, and through the refusal to quit when it gets uncomfortable. Keep doing the hard things, because they're shaping the person you've always had inside you.
Chapter 3. Train your focus to stay locked on goals. Success isn't complicated. Most people already know what they need to do. The real challenge is staying focused long enough to finish what they start. Goals don't fail because people aren't talented. They fail because people get distracted. They let their mind drift. They chase too many things. They start strong, then lose clarity, then give up. If you want to reach your goals, you must train your focus like a skill. You must protect it like something valuable, because it is. Your ability to stay locked in on what matters is the difference between progress and delay, between finishing and quitting, between winning and wasting time. We live in a world that rewards distraction, notifications, endless content, constant noise. Everything is built to steal your attention. But every time you let something pull you off track, you lose momentum. And when you lose momentum, you lose belief. Eventually you start doubting the goal, when really it was your focus that disappeared, not the dream. The only way to protect your dream is to train your focus to ignore everything that doesn't move you closer to it. You don't become focused by hoping for it. You become focused by making a decision to simplify your life, a decision to stop doing things that don't matter, a decision to say no more often. Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing less with more intention. It's cutting out the noise and pouring your energy into what actually moves you forward. If you keep switching paths, you will never get anywhere. If you keep looking around at what everyone else is doing, you'll lose sight of your own direction. Focus means your attention is no longer for sale. It means you wake up and know what your day is about. It means you stop wasting energy on things that give you nothing in return. And that takes practice. Not once, not for a week, but every single day. Focus requires rules. You can't expect to stay locked in if you leave your schedule open to everything and everyone. You need structure, time blocks, boundaries. You need to decide when you work, how you work, and what you will ignore during that time. You need to protect your space, because without focus your best ideas stay unfinished, your best efforts fade too early, and your goals remain just talk. You've got to understand that your brain isn't built for constant switching. Every time you shift your attention from your goal to something meaningless, you lose mental energy. You burn time. You scatter your progress. That's why most people are always busy, but never effective. They're doing a lot, but none of it is focused. And at the end of the day, they feel tired, but they haven't moved any closer to what they actually want. That's why focus is rare. It's why people admire those who stay committed. Because deep down, everyone knows how hard it is. It takes mental strength to keep going when your mind wants to wander. It takes clarity to say no when distractions feel more enjoyable. It takes purpose to sit down and stay locked in on one thing until it's done. But the good news is that focus can be built. You don't need to be gifted. You need to be intentional. Start small. Choose one task, one target, one thing that matters today. Block out time for it. Put your phone away. Tell people you're not available. And then work fully, deeply, and without switching. At first it will feel hard. You'll feel the urge to check something else. You'll want to stop. That's normal. But if you can train yourself to stay locked in, even for 30 minutes, you'll begin to rebuild your focus muscle. And the stronger that muscle gets, the more progress you make. People who achieve big goals are not more motivated than you. They're not smarter. They're just better at locking in. They do what matters, consistently, while others get distracted. And over time that difference becomes huge. Focus compounds, just like money. One day of deep work turns into weeks of growth. One clear goal leads to dozens of finished results. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it without stopping. And here's the truth. Focus feels better than distraction. Distraction gives you quick relief, but it leaves you feeling empty. Focus gives you results, and results build confidence. They remind you that you're capable. They show you that your effort matters. But you'll never feel that if you keep bouncing between tasks, goals, ideas, and temptations. You need to shut down the noise and give yourself the gift of full attention. You can't afford to be casual about your focus. Not if your goals matter. Not if your future matters. You need to take it seriously. Make your focus time non-negotiable. Treat it like it's the most important appointment of your day. Because it is. It's the time where you move forward, where you separate yourself from the crowd, where you do the kind of work that builds your future. Don't wait for the perfect mood. Don't wait until you feel inspired. Focus isn't about how you feel. It's about what you decide. And if you make the decision to train your mind to stay with the task in front of you, you will go further than 99% of people who live in a constant loop of distractions and delays. The truth is, most people don't fail because they didn't try. They fail because they kept stopping. They never stayed long enough on one thing to get good at it. And that's what your goals need from you. Not more motivation, more focus. Not more talk, more locked-in execution. That's how you build a body you're proud of. That's how you build a business that lasts. That's how you build skills that pay off for years. By being focused. By not giving up after one bad day. By not switching to the next thing just because this one takes time. You've got to get comfortable being bored. Because real focus is not exciting. It's not flashy. It's repetitive. It's quiet. It's the daily choice to return to the work without letting distractions steal your mind. And in that repetition, you find power. You find momentum. You find progress. The kind of progress that builds your future step by step. And no, it won't be perfect. Some days your mind will wander. Some days you'll give in to the noise. That's part of the process. But the goal is not perfection. The goal is improvement. Can you stay focused a little longer today than you did yesterday? Can you resist the urge to check one less thing? Can you give 1 hour fully locked in? That's the training. That's what builds your edge. And over time that edge becomes your advantage. While others start and stop, you stay locked in. While others jump from goal to goal, you keep building. And eventually you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Not because you were lucky, but because you focused. That's the difference. That's the standard. That's how success is built. Not by doing everything, but by doing the right thing, over and over. without letting your mind drift. Train your focus. Protect it. Strengthen it. Because the future you want depends on your ability to stay locked in today. Chapter 4. Control your thoughts before they control your actions. Your life will always follow the direction of your strongest thoughts. If your thoughts are negative, fearful, or filled with doubt, your actions will reflect that. You'll hesitate when you should move forward. You'll complain instead of taking responsibility. You'll avoid the work, delay the decisions, and repeat the same day over and over. The truth is simple. If you don't take control of your thinking will take control of you. And when that happens, you lose power. You stop driving your life and start reacting to it. Every decision starts in the mind. Before you quit, you think about quitting. Before you make progress, you decide you're capable of it. Your thoughts set the tone for everything you do. You don't just randomly take action, you act based on what you believe, what you fear, and what you focus on. That's why controlling your thoughts is not optional, it's essential. It's the first step to building the life you actually want. The mistake most people make is thinking their thoughts are just thoughts. But thoughts aren't harmless. Thoughts are instructions. Every time you think something, your mind and body begin to follow that instruction. Tell yourself it's too hard, and your brain starts looking for ways to escape. Tell yourself you can figure it out, and your brain starts looking for a path forward. That small shift in language changes everything, because what you think repeatedly becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes how you behave. The biggest problem isn't that people have negative thoughts, it's that they don't challenge them. They let their first thought become the final truth. They accept the doubt, the fear, the story without questioning it, and then they wonder why they can't move forward. You've got to interrupt those thoughts. You've got to step in and say, "This isn't helping me." You've got to take back control, not by ignoring what you feel, but by choosing what thoughts you feed. Your mind is like a filter. It can either filter in fear or filter in possibility. It can focus on problems or it can search for solutions. The choice is yours, but you have to be aware. Most people don't even realize they're being led by automatic thoughts that were shaped years ago. Thoughts from failure, from past pain, from what someone else said. But none of that has to control you now, unless you allow it to. Start listening to how you talk to yourself. Are your thoughts helping you grow, or keeping you stuck? Do they give you energy, or drain it? Do they bring clarity, or confusion? Most people walk around all day, repeating the same negative thoughts, and wonder why they feel tired and defeated. If your inner talk is negative, your energy will always feel low. You can eat well, sleep enough, and still feel exhausted, because your mind is working against you. That's why mindset isn't just a motivational idea, it's a survival tool. When you take control of your thoughts, you create space between what happens and how you respond. You stop reacting to everything emotionally. You start thinking clearly, even under pressure. And that's when your life starts to shift. Not because the outside world changes, but because your inner world becomes stronger. If you want to master your thoughts, you need to slow them down. When your mind is racing, you don't think clearly. You react based on emotion, not logic. You assume things that aren't true. You jump to conclusions. You focus on the worst-case scenario. To control your thoughts, you need to pause, breathe, step back, ask yourself, is this helpful? Is this even true? What else could be possible? These questions give you power. They create space for better thinking. Don't let your mind talk to you unchecked. Talk back to it. When your thoughts say, "You're not good enough," answer with, "I'm learning," and I'm getting better. When your thoughts say, it's too late, say, now is always a good time to start. When your thoughts say, you always mess up, say, that was the old version of me, I'm building a new one. You're not lying to yourself, you're leading yourself. You're choosing thoughts that align with the direction you want your life to go. This isn't about pretending life is perfect. It's about not letting negativity become your default setting. Yes, life gets hard. Yes, failure hurts. But dwelling on it doesn't solve it. You've got to train your mind to move forward, not to escape reality, but to improve how you respond to it. That's mental strength. That's self-leadership. And it starts with choosing the right thoughts, even when it's uncomfortable. Remember, your emotions come from your thoughts, not your circumstances. Two people can face the same situation and feel completely different about it because their thoughts are different. One sees it as a challenge, the other sees it as a problem. One focuses on what they can do, the other focuses on what they can't. The event is the same, the response is not. And that response comes from how they think. That's why you need to build mental discipline, not just physical discipline, not just time management, but thought discipline. You need to learn how to catch your thinking when it's drifting, pull it back when it's wandering, redirect it when it's stuck. That takes repetition. At first your mind will keep going back to fear, comfort and doubt. But every time you catch it and shift it, you get stronger. You build a new default, and that new default changes your life. Because now you don't panic under pressure, you think. You don't freeze when things go wrong, you plan. You don't give up after failure, you adjust. Because you've trained your mind to stay grounded, to stay focused, to stay aligned with your purpose. That's what gives you power. Not motivation, not luck, not praise, mental clarity, mental control. That's the foundation of everything that lasts. You need to understand that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who decides what to do with them. A thought can enter your mind, but you choose whether to follow it. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. And just because it's true doesn't mean it's helpful. You can think a better thought. You can choose a better belief. You can build a better mindset. This isn't a one-time shift. It's a daily practice. Just like you brush your teeth, you need to clean out your mind. Start the day with intention. Choose what you want to focus on, what you want to believe, what story you want to live. Because if you don't choose your thoughts, the world will choose them for you, and the world will fill your mind with fear, urgency, and limitation. But you don't have to accept that. You can take control. You can lead your thoughts instead of letting them lead you. And once you do, everything begins to change. You'll start to notice the space between reaction and response. You'll begin to feel stronger in situations that used to break you. You'll feel more clear, more grounded, more confident, not because life is easier, but because your thinking is cleaner, more focused, more helpful, more aligned with the life you're building. This is where real freedom comes from. Not just in your schedule, not just in your money, but in your mind. When you know how to lead your thoughts, you can handle anything. You stop giving your power to outside problems. You stop letting old stories run your future. You show up with clarity, with courage, with calm. That's what it means to take control of your mind, and that's where your best life begins.
Chapter 5. Push through fear and do it anyway now. Fear doesn't go away by waiting. It doesn't disappear because you think about it. It doesn't fade because time passes. Fear stays where it is until you face it, until you move through it, until you do the very thing you're afraid of doing. And most of the time, what stands between you and your next level
isn't skill or talent or knowledge. It's fear. Not the loud, dramatic kind, the quiet kind. The fear of failing, the fear of judgment, the fear of looking foolish, the fear of getting hurt. That's the fear that holds people back from building the life they actually want. You don't beat fear by feeling brave. You beat fear by taking action while you feel afraid. That's what separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. Fear isn't the enemy. The real danger is letting fear decide what you do and what you don't do. If you wait until the fear is gone, you will wait forever. You've got to stop waiting. You've got to stop asking for certainty. You've got to stop giving fear a seat at your table. It's not your guide. It's not your advisor. It's just noise, and it doesn't deserve to control your next move. Fear shows up when you care. It shows up when something matters. That means it's not a signal to stop. It's a signal to start. The moment you feel afraid is the moment you need to lean in, step forward, move. Because everything you want is sitting on the other side of doing the thing you keep avoiding. The longer you wait, the stronger the fear becomes. The faster you act, the weaker it gets. Action kills fear. Overthinking feeds it. Think about all the times in your life when fear stopped you. The chances you didn't take. The conversations you avoided. The dreams you talked yourself out of. Every one of those moments had something in common. You gave fear the final word. And every time you do that, you reinforce the idea that fear is more powerful than you. It only feels that way because you've given it control. Take it back. You've got to push through fear without needing a perfect plan. You don't need all the steps. You just need to take the first one, then the next, then the one after that. That's how fear loses its grip, through movement, not through more information, not through more comfort, but through direct, intentional, uncomfortable action. You take the step even though your heart is racing, even though your stomach is tight, even though your thoughts are spinning. You do it anyway. That's what courage looks like. Not the absence of fear, the refusal to be controlled by it. When you decide that fear is no longer a reason to stay stuck, you start living, not just surviving, not just managing, living, with energy, with urgency, with clarity. You begin to see that fear is not something to run from, it's something to rise through. Every time you push through it, you build something inside yourself that's unshakable. Fear creates hesitation, and hesitation steals opportunities. If you keep hesitating, you will keep missing the moments that could change your life. A small decision made with courage can lead to a completely different future. But you'll never know that if you stay on the sidelines. The window doesn't stay open forever. If you don't move, it closes. You can either act now or regret later. Those are the options. People think the fear will go away after they succeed. But success doesn't remove fear. It just gives you a new level of it. The only thing that changes is your tolerance for it. The more you face it, the more you realize it can't stop you. It might slow you down. It might shake you a little, but it can't stop you, unless you let it. So the sooner you get used to feeling fear and moving anyway, the sooner you get to everything you say you want. You don't need to pretend you're not scared. You just need to stop obeying the fear. Stop making it your decision maker. Stop letting it write your story. When fear speaks, you can listen, but you don't have to follow. You don't have to agree. You don't have to believe it. You get to choose a new voice. A voice of strength. A voice of possibility. A voice that says, I'm going to try. I'm going to grow. I'm going to figure it out. Fear becomes a pattern. If you run from it once, you're more likely to run from it again. If you face it once, you start to build a new pattern. One that says, I can do hard things. I can feel scared and still act. I don't need to feel perfect to make progress. That mindset changes everything. Because fear doesn't control people who act quickly. It only controls those who wait. You can't let fear shape your identity. If you start to believe that you're not brave, not ready, not strong enough, you'll live like it's true, even if it's not. You'll hold yourself back before the world even gets a chance to challenge you. And that's the real tragedy. Most people never find out what they're capable of because fear convinced them to stay comfortable. But comfort won't get you where you want to go. Courage will. You'll never feel completely ready. You'll never feel completely safe. And you don't need to. You need to feel committed. You need to feel willing to try, willing to fall, willing to stand back up, because that's how growth happens. Not in theory, not in daydreams, but in action. Risky, real, raw action. The kind that shakes you, the kind that changes you. What if you stopped seeing fear as a wall and started seeing it as a test? What if the fear you feel is a signal that you're on the right track, not the wrong one? What if fear isn't something to be ashamed of, but something to use? You don't have to love it, but you can use it. Use it to wake you up. Use it to sharpen your focus. Use it to remind you that this moment matters. Everything you've been avoiding is costing you something. The longer you avoid the fear, the more power it takes from you. But the moment you step into it, everything shifts. You start walking differently, talking differently, thinking differently. You feel stronger, not because the fear vanished, but because you moved through it. That feeling is something no one can give you. You have to earn it. Through action, through struggle, through doing the hard thing anyway. Push through fear, not later. Now, not when it's convenient. Now, not when you feel confident. Now, because this moment is all you have. And if you keep waiting for the right time, fear wins. Don't let fear be the reason you settle. Don't let it be the reason you hold back your potential. Don't let it be the reason your story stays small. Push through it. Step into the unknown. Take the shot. Say the words. Make the move. You may feel shaky. You may mess up. You may not know what's next. But that's how life works. That's how confidence is built. You earn it by doing. You earn it by showing up before you feel ready. You earn it by facing fear over and over until it becomes familiar. Not smaller, just familiar. You stop being afraid of being afraid. And that's the moment your power begins to rise. Stop treating fear like a stop sign. Treat it like a doorway. A doorway you were meant to walk through. A doorway that leads to something better. But no one will drag you through it. You've got to walk through on your own. You've got to decide that your future matters more than your fear. That your goals matter more than your comfort. That your growth matters more than your excuses. This is your moment. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Now, push through fear and do it anyway. Because the person you're becoming is waiting on the other side.
Chapter 6. Fix your attitude when life feels unfair today. Life is not fair, and it was never meant to be. That truth alone can either frustrate you or free you. The moment you stop expecting life to be fair is the moment you take your power back. Because when something unfair happens, you have a choice. You can complain about it, or you can rise through it. And rising starts with your attitude, not your environment, not your circumstances, your attitude. That's the only thing that stays within your control when everything else feels out of place. Unfair things happen to everyone,
People will misunderstand you. Opportunities will pass you by. You'll see others get ahead with less effort. Some people will be born with more resources. Others will fail and get a second chance while you're still waiting on your first. It's tempting to look around and say, "Why me?" or "This isn't right." But that doesn't get you anywhere. All it does is make you bitter, and bitterness never built anything. Resentment never pushed anyone forward. If you want to grow, if you want to move past the unfair parts of life, you need to shift your attitude first. Your attitude is the lens through which you see every experience. A negative attitude will magnify every inconvenience. It will make every small problem feel like a disaster. It will convince you that you're stuck when you're not. It will drain your energy before you even begin. But a strong attitude, the kind you build on purpose, will help you face hard things without breaking. It won't make life easier, but it will make you better. Most people try to change the world around them before they change themselves. They wait for fairness before they start giving their best. They wait for the apology before they let go of the anger. They wait for validation before they act. And because of that, they keep repeating the same cycle. If life doesn't feel fair today, that doesn't mean you have to carry a bad attitude with you. You can carry strength instead. You can carry perspective. You can carry a mindset that says, "Even if this is unfair, I won't let it define me." When things feel unfair, it's easy to fall into blame. But blame puts your focus on what you can't control. It creates helplessness. It builds a habit of looking outward instead of inward. And when you do that long enough, you start to lose belief in your ability to change anything. But you can change things. You just have to start from the inside. You have to ask, what kind of person do I want to be in this moment? Not, what do I deserve? But who am I becoming through this? You see, your attitude is not based on what's happening. It's based on what you decide to focus on. If all you focus on is the unfairness, that's all you'll see. If you focus on what's in your hands, you'll begin to act. And action leads to growth. Action creates momentum. Even small actions taken with a good attitude can change your entire day. And when you do that every day, it changes your entire life. No one's coming to fix your attitude for you. That's something you must take ownership of. You can wait around for someone to understand you, or you can decide that your peace doesn't need their approval. You can waste energy wishing things were different, or you can use that same energy to create something better. It's your call. It's your responsibility. Your attitude is your job, not the world's. There's something powerful that happens when you stop needing life to be fair and start needing yourself to be focused. You begin to stop looking at others and start looking at your own habits, your mindset, your daily choices. You stop comparing and start building. You stop complaining and start creating. That's when you begin to notice the strength that's been inside you the whole time. And yes, it's hard. It's hard to stay positive when you're hurting. It's hard to keep showing up when nothing seems to change. It's hard to stay kind when people are careless. But that's what builds your edge. That's what shapes your character. Not how you act when everything is going right, but how you show up when it isn't. How you carry yourself when no one's giving you credit. How you respond when you feel left out, overlooked, or underestimated. Fixing your attitude doesn't mean pretending everything is okay. It means accepting that while everything may not be okay, you can still be okay. You can still keep your head clear. You can still keep your standards high. You can still treat people with respect, even when you're frustrated. You can still follow through on your commitments, even when no one's watching. That's real strength, that's emotional maturity, and it all starts with how you think. Every unfair situation is a test of your patience, a test of your humility, a test of your character. You don't pass that test by reacting with negativity. You pass it by staying aligned with your values, by staying grounded in who you are. Life's not testing your skills, it's testing your mindset. It's asking, will you stay true to your standards, even when things aren't going your way? Sometimes you'll feel like you're doing everything right and still not seeing the results. That's normal. That's part of the process. But you can't let that shake your attitude. Because your attitude is what keeps you moving forward when progress feels slow. It's what keeps you believing when nothing is showing yet. It's what reminds you that just because life isn't fair today, doesn't mean it won't reward you tomorrow. Think of the people you admire, the ones who are strong, clear, and reliable. They didn't get that way because life gave them an easy path. They got that way because they chose their attitude every day. When life hit them hard, they didn't become bitter, they became better. Not overnight, but step by step, thought by thought, choice by choice. And you can too. No matter what's happening today, you have the power to shift your attitude. You can decide to focus on what's within your reach. You can decide to keep moving forward. You can decide to be someone who doesn't let circumstances control their spirit. And when you live like that long enough, life begins to respond. Not always immediately, but eventually, because strength, discipline, and a good attitude always win in the long run. The world may not reward you right away. People may not notice your effort. Circumstances may still feel unfair. But your growth is not about the outside world. It's about who you're becoming on the inside. And if you stay consistent with your attitude, the results will show up in your confidence, in your peace, in your ability to handle pressure without breaking down. So fix your attitude today, not for anyone else but for yourself, because you deserve to live with clarity. You deserve to have peace even when things are messy. You deserve to feel strong even when you feel alone. That kind of strength isn't built from fairness. It's built from choice, from ownership, from deciding that you will not let anything or anyone steal your energy. No matter what life throws at you, you control how you respond. That's the power of attitude. That's the power you hold right now. Use it. Chapter 7. Take full ownership of everything in your life. Taking full ownership of your life is the single most powerful step toward real success. It means stopping the habit of blaming others, circumstances, or bad luck for where you are. It means looking at yourself honestly and admitting that your life today is a result of your choices, what you decided to do, what you decided not to do, and how you responded to every challenge along the way. Ownership is not about shame or guilt, it's about empowerment. When you take full responsibility, you gain control. You stop being a passenger and become the driver of your own journey. The first thing to understand about ownership is that it is a choice. No one can force you to own your life. It's not automatic. It's not easy. It's a decision you make every day. When something goes wrong, you can blame the situation, or you can ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I control right now? When you do that consistently, you start to see opportunities instead of obstacles. You start to build resilience instead of frustration. Owning your life means owning your mistakes. It means accepting that you are the only one responsible for your results. You might not control everything that happens to you, but you control how you respond. If you wait for someone else to fix your problems, you'll be waiting forever. But if you say, "This is my life. I will do what it takes," you begin to create change, real change. Because ownership breaks the cycle of helplessness and puts you back in the driver's seat. Most people avoid ownership because it feels scary. It feels like admitting failure or weakness. But the truth is, owning your life is the strongest position you can be in. It means you're not a victim. It means you're a leader. It means you have power. Even if your past was messy, even if you made bad decisions, you can start fresh right now by owning where you are and choosing what comes next. That's courage. That's maturity. That's success. When you take ownership, you stop making excuses. You stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. You stop blaming others for your lack of progress. Every excuse is just a story you tell yourself to avoid discomfort. And discomfort is part of growth. So the sooner you stop running from it, the sooner you get results. You can't control what others do, but you can control your effort, your attitude, and your consistency. Ownership also means accepting that your feelings don't excuse your actions. Feeling overwhelmed or discouraged doesn't give you permission to quit. Feeling angry or hurt doesn't justify lashing out. Ownership is about recognizing your emotions, but choosing your actions anyway. It's about standing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about moving forward even when the path isn't clear. Because the only way to reach your goals is to keep taking steps, no matter how small. Owning your life creates clarity. When you accept responsibility, you stop wasting energy on blame and distraction. You focus on what matters, your habits, your mindset, your daily choices. You start to see that growth is a direct result of your actions, not your circumstances. And that understanding changes everything. It turns frustration into focus. It turns fear into confidence. It turns doubt into determination. When you take ownership, you also inspire others. People respect those who own their lives because it shows strength and integrity. It shows that you're someone who doesn't make excuses but finds solutions. It shows that you're reliable and committed. That reputation opens doors. It builds trust. It creates opportunities. Because the world needs more people who lead their lives with full responsibility, not more who blame their problems on others. Ownership is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Every morning, you get to decide how you will show up. Will you blame the past or learn from it? Will you complain about your situation or act to improve it? Will you let fear control your choices, or will you push forward anyway? That decision, made again and again, shapes your future. The path to success is not about luck or talent. It's about consistent ownership of every moment. The people who succeed are not those with perfect lives. They are those who own their reality fully. They admit their mistakes. They learn quickly. They adjust and keep going. Ownership gives you the freedom to change direction without guilt. It gives you the power to rewrite your story anytime. And it gives you the peace that comes from knowing you are doing everything you can. Taking ownership also means asking tough questions. What habits are holding you back? What excuses do you keep telling yourself? Where have you been avoiding responsibility? Those questions aren't easy, but they're necessary. The answers help you see where you need to improve. They help you make better choices. They help you break patterns that keep you stuck. Sometimes ownership feels heavy because it means facing hard truths. But it's better to carry that weight than to carry the burden of blame. Blame creates resentment and frustration. Ownership creates growth and freedom. When you take full responsibility, you stop waiting for others to save you. You stop hoping for a miracle. You start trusting your own power and ability to create the life you want. Remember, ownership means you are accountable to yourself first. You don't need approval from anyone else. You don't need to explain your choices to justify them. You answer to yourself. That self-respect builds confidence. It builds inner strength. It builds resilience. Because when you own your life, you learn to trust your own judgment. You learn to listen to your own voice. And that's the foundation of real independence. You may not control every event or outcome, but you always control your effort. You always control your mindset. You always control your response. When you accept that fully, you realize you have more power than you thought. You can influence your future more than you imagine. Ownership opens that door. It invites you in. It challenges you to be better, to do better, to live better. The moment you stop blaming and start owning, everything shifts. You become more focused, more intentional, more driven. You stop feeling like life is happening to you and start feeling like life is happening through you. That shift brings peace and purpose. It brings clarity and confidence. It brings momentum and progress. This is not about perfection. It's about responsibility. It's about saying, I am the one who decides my life. It's about stepping up and showing up even when it's hard. It's about making choices that align with your goals every day. It's about never settling for less than what you can become. The freedom that comes from ownership is worth the effort it takes. When you take full responsibility, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You start being a creator of your own future. You build habits that support your dreams. You develop a mindset that no challenge can break. You earn the respect of yourself and others. Ownership is the foundation of all success. Without it, you're stuck waiting for permission or perfect conditions. With it, you move forward no matter what. You create your own opportunities. You build your own path. You become unstoppable. Choose ownership today. Choose to lead your life fully. Choose to stop blaming and start acting. Choose to be the person who takes control and never gives it away again. Your future depends on it.
Chapter 8. Keep showing up even when nothing feels easy. Showing up consistently is the secret no one talks about, but everyone needs to master. There will be days when every step feels heavy and every move feels like a struggle. Those days don't come because you're weak. They come because growth never happens in comfort zones. Life tests you by making progress feel hard, slow, and uncertain. But the difference between those who win and those who give up isn't luck or talent. It's the simple act of showing up even when it feels impossible. Persistence isn't about waiting for motivation to strike or for conditions to be perfect. It's about deciding to be present, to do the work, and to keep moving no matter what. Even when your body wants to rest, even when your mind wants to quit, even when results are nowhere in sight. That commitment builds a kind of strength that no setback can break. It builds character that can't be shaken by disappointment. It builds a mindset that knows success is a long game, not a quick fix. There will be moments when you question why you started, when the goal seems too far away and the progress feels invisible. That's normal. Every person who achieves anything meaningful faces those moments. The difference is what they do next. Do they turn around and give up, or do they lean in and show up again? Showing up when nothing feels easy isn't about grand gestures. It's about the small, consistent steps that add up over time. No one owes you an easy road. No one promised success would be simple or quick. If you want results, you have to accept the struggle as part of the process. The more you resist it, the longer it lasts. But when you accept it and keep showing up,
You shorten the struggle. You build momentum. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than the challenges you face. Consistency is a choice. It's a daily decision to show up even when you don't feel like it. That decision separates the average from the exceptional. It's easy to feel motivated on good days. It's the hard days that matter. Those are the days when showing up is a victory in itself. Because every time you show up, you weaken the voice inside that says, "Give up." Every time you keep going, you strengthen the part of you that knows you're capable. Showing up also means accepting imperfection. You won't always perform at your best. You won't always feel confident. Some days your work will be sloppy or incomplete. But that doesn't mean you quit. It means you keep going. You do better tomorrow. Progress is not about perfection. It's about persistence. You learn, you adjust, and you continue. That's the way real growth happens. You have to understand that feelings are temporary. The frustration, the fatigue, the doubt, they all pass. But the results of showing up are lasting. Every day you show up, you build skills. You build habits. You build confidence. Even if it doesn't feel like it today, you are changing your future one action at a time. Remember, consistency builds trust with yourself. When you show up every day, you prove that you can be relied on. You build discipline. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation runs out. Discipline is what separates dreams from reality. And discipline starts with showing up over and over again. Life will throw distractions, setbacks and failures in your path. Those things try to convince you to quit. They want you to believe it's easier to stop than to continue. But showing up is your way of telling those challenges, "You don't control me." It's your declaration that your goals matter more than your excuses, more than your tiredness, more than your fear. The habit of showing up also builds resilience. When you keep going despite difficulty, you become unbreakable. You learn how to handle discomfort. You learn how to manage stress. You learn how to keep your eyes on the prize, even when the path is rocky. That resilience will serve you in every part of life: career, relationships, health and personal growth. You will face days when progress is slow and the results seem invisible. Those days test your faith in yourself. But showing up means trusting the process. It means believing that every effort matters, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. The biggest breakthroughs come after the longest struggles. Keep showing up, and those breakthroughs will come. One of the biggest lies is that success comes from big, dramatic actions. The truth is, success comes from small, consistent actions repeated daily. Showing up is the foundation of all achievement. Without it, talent and knowledge don't matter. Without it, motivation fades. But with it, you build a foundation that can support anything you want to build. When you commit to showing up, you also build patience. You learn that success is not an event but a journey. It's the accumulation of effort, day after day. That patience keeps you grounded. It stops you from quitting too early. It helps you stay calm and focused when results don't come as fast as you want. You can't control how fast things happen, but you can control whether you show up. You can't control all the outside circumstances, but you can control your effort. And that control is more powerful than anything else. It's what turns dreams into reality and goals into accomplishments. You have to make showing up a habit, not a hope. Hope is passive. Habit is active. Hope waits for a feeling. Habit acts regardless of feelings. The people who succeed are those who build habits of showing up no matter what. They don't wait for the perfect mood or the perfect conditions. They show up because they made a commitment to themselves. Your consistency will also inspire others. When you show up, even when it's tough, you become an example of strength and dedication. People notice that kind of commitment. It's contagious. It builds trust and respect, and it reminds you that your effort matters, even if you don't always see immediate results. Sometimes you will want to skip a day, a week or more. That's natural. But every time you choose to show up instead, you win. Every time you push through resistance, you grow stronger. Every time you keep going, you build a habit that can't be broken. Keep showing up, not because it's easy, but because it matters. Not because you feel ready, but because you made a promise to yourself. Not because the results are visible, but because you trust that they will come. Keep showing up and watch your life change. Showing up builds momentum, and momentum builds success. It's a cycle that feeds itself. The more you show up, the easier it becomes to keep going. The easier it becomes to face challenges. The easier it becomes to believe in yourself. Don't underestimate the power of this simple act. There is no shortcut. There is no magic pill. There is only showing up, over and over, day after day. That's how you build a life worth living. That's how you achieve your biggest goals. That's how you become who you want to be. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often just this: the willingness to show up even when nothing feels easy. That willingness will carry you through every challenge. That willingness will open every door. That willingness will create your future. No matter how hard it feels today, no matter how many times you want to quit, keep showing up. Your future self is counting on you. Your dreams are waiting for you. The success you want is built on the foundation of your daily presence. Keep showing up and keep building that foundation strong.
Chapter 9. Speak to yourself with belief and real honesty. The way you talk to yourself shapes everything about your life. Your inner voice is the most powerful influence you will ever experience. It guides your decisions, affects your confidence, and determines how you respond to challenges. If you speak to yourself with doubt and harshness, you create a world where fear and failure grow. But if you speak with belief and honesty, you build a foundation of strength and trust that nothing can break. Learning to talk to yourself in a way that is both truthful and encouraging is one of the most important skills for success. Speaking with belief means that you choose words that build you up, not tear you down. It means trusting yourself enough to say, "I can handle this," even when you don't feel certain. It means reminding yourself of your value, your strengths, and your potential, especially when things get tough. This doesn't mean pretending to be perfect or ignoring your flaws. It means being kind, but real. Belief in yourself is not about arrogance, it's about respect. Respect for the effort you put in, and respect for the journey you're on. Honesty in self-talk means facing your reality without hiding from it. It means admitting when you've made mistakes without beating yourself up. It means recognizing where you need to grow without shame or denial. Real honesty is clear-eyed and direct. It doesn't sugarcoat the truth, but doesn't use the truth to destroy you either. Instead, it uses truth as a tool for improvement. When you talk honesty with yourself, you stop making excuses and start taking action. You see where you've been and where you need to go. Many people struggle because their inner voice is full of criticism and doubt. They focus on their failures and ignore their progress. They tell themselves they aren't good enough, or smart enough, or strong enough. That voice becomes their reality. It limits what they try. It steals their courage. But you have the power to change that voice. You can decide what you say to yourself.
You can become your own greatest supporter instead of your harshest critic. Believing in yourself starts with recognizing your past wins, no matter how small. It means celebrating the times you got up after a fall. It means remembering the moments when you surprised yourself by doing more than you thought possible. Those memories are evidence that you can overcome challenges. When self-doubt creeps in, bring those wins to the front of your mind. Remind yourself that you've been through tough times and you made it. That belief fuels your next step. Being honest with yourself means looking closely at your habits and actions. It means asking, am I really doing what it takes to reach my goals? Sometimes the answer will be no. That's okay. What matters is that you face it and make a plan to improve. Honesty stops you from living in denial or blaming others for your lack of progress. It forces you to take responsibility and own your growth. That ownership is empowering. It shifts your mindset from helplessness to control. Speak to yourself as you would speak to a friend you care about deeply. Would you call them lazy or worthless? Would you say, you'll never make it? Probably not. You'd encourage them, remind them of their strengths, and tell them to keep going. Give yourself that same respect. Your inner dialogue should be full of encouragement and truth. It should challenge you, but also lift you up. That balance is the key to building confidence without losing humility. Your thoughts become your words, and your words become your actions. When you believe in yourself and speak honestly, you make choices based on what's possible, not what's scary. You take risks because you trust your ability to handle failure. You keep going because you know mistakes don't define you. The quality of your self-talk directly influences your results. If you want different outcomes, start with different conversations inside your mind. It's natural to have negative thoughts sometimes. The difference is what you do with them. When a thought says, I can't, respond with, I'm learning how. When a thought says, I'm not enough, answer, I'm growing every day. Those responses aren't lies. They're truthful perspectives that keep you moving forward. Talking to yourself with belief and honesty means replacing fear-based thoughts with growth-based ones. That shift rewires your mind for success. Being honest with yourself also means accepting your limits without giving up. It means knowing when to ask for help, when to rest, and when to adjust your goals. Real belief doesn't demand perfection. It accepts where you are now and encourages you to do better tomorrow. That patience and grace make your inner voice sustainable and real. It becomes a source of strength rather than stress. Practice is key to changing your inner dialogue. It won't happen overnight. You have to catch yourself when negative thoughts arise and consciously shift them. This takes awareness and effort, but it's worth it. Over time, positive and honest self-talk becomes automatic. You start to believe in yourself naturally. You develop a mindset that helps you push through challenges with confidence. One way to build this habit is to speak your goals and affirmations out loud every day. Hearing yourself say, I am capable, or I will keep learning, reinforces those beliefs. Writing down your honest assessments and positive statements also helps. The more you make belief and honesty part of your daily routine, the stronger your mindset becomes. It becomes a habit that supports your success. Your self-talk shapes your identity. If you speak to yourself with belief and honesty, you begin to see yourself differently. You start to act differently. You make decisions from a place of strength. That identity change is powerful. It transforms how you show up in your work, your relationships, and your challenges. You become someone who doesn't give up easily, someone who takes responsibility and keeps growing. You don't have to wait for someone else to believe in you. You don't need outside validation to speak kindly and honestly to yourself. The relationship you have with yourself is the most important one you'll ever have. It's the foundation for every other connection and every success you want. Treat that relationship with care. Speak to yourself with respect and honesty. Build belief like it's your most valuable asset. Honesty in self-talk also means confronting your fears and doubts directly. Don't hide from them or push them aside. Name them, understand them, then respond with truth. If you're afraid you'll fail, remind yourself that failure is part of learning. If you doubt your skills, focus on what you're doing to improve. Facing your inner fears head-on builds courage and breaks their power over you. When you speak to yourself with belief and honesty, you develop resilience. You become someone who can handle setbacks without losing confidence. You learn to keep going when others might quit. That resilience grows from a steady stream of positive, truthful messages you give yourself every day. It's the mental strength that supports every goal you set. Your words have power. Use them wisely. Speak to yourself in ways that build your confidence and ground you in truth. Avoid harsh judgments and destructive criticism. Instead, choose words that remind you of your value and your ability to grow. That voice inside you can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Decide to make it your strongest support. The way you speak to yourself determines how you treat challenges. When your inner voice is kind and honest, you face problems with clarity and courage. You don't shrink away, you step forward. You find solutions. You learn from mistakes. That mindset opens doors and creates opportunities that fear and doubt would close. You are the one who decides the story you tell yourself. Choose a story of belief and honesty. Choose a story where you are capable, worthy, and committed to growth. Speak that story loudly and clearly every day. Let it guide your actions and shape your future. Your inner voice is your most powerful tool. Use it well. Chapter 10. Act every day like success is your duty. Success is not something that happens by chance or luck. It is a responsibility you carry every single day. It's a commitment that demands action and focus, no matter how you feel or what distractions come your way. Acting like success is your duty means treating it as a serious obligation, not an option. It means showing up, doing the work, and making choices that move you closer to your goals every day. When you see success as your duty, you don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You take action because it is necessary, because it matters. Every day offers a new opportunity to make progress or to fall behind. The choice is yours. Success does not wait for those who hesitate or procrastinate. It rewards those who are consistent, disciplined, and intentional. Acting with a sense of duty means recognizing that your time and effort are valuable resources that must be used wisely. It means focusing on what truly matters instead of getting lost in distractions. When success is your duty, every decision is filtered through the lens of growth and purpose. This attitude demands accountability. You must hold yourself responsible for your actions and outcomes. No one else is going to do it for you. Waiting for others to push you or encourage you will only slow you down. Taking success as your duty means you are your own leader and motivator. You create your schedule, set your priorities, and follow through. You don't make excuses or look for shortcuts. You understand that lasting achievement comes from consistent effort over time. Acting daily with success in mind means adopting habits that support your goals. These habits might seem small or simple, but their impact adds up dramatically. It could be dedicating time to learn something new, improving your skills, reaching out for help, or simply organizing your day to eliminate distractions. The key is to do these actions not just when you feel like it, but because they are your responsibility. This shift from optional effort to duty creates momentum that carries you forward. When success is your duty, you treat challenges differently. Obstacles become part of your job to overcome, not reasons to quit. You don't allow setbacks to derail your commitment. Instead, you use them as lessons and stepping stones. This mindset turns failures into feedback and problems into projects. It builds resilience and grit, qualities essential for reaching high levels of achievement. Acting with duty keeps you moving even when progress seems slow or invisible. This perspective also sharpens your focus. When success is your duty, you cut through distractions and temptations that pull you away from your goals. You say no to things that waste your time and energy. You prioritize what drives you forward. This clarity helps you make better decisions daily. It keeps you aligned with your vision and stops you from drifting aimlessly. Focus combined with duty creates a powerful force for change. Seeing success as your duty means you understand the impact of your actions beyond yourself. Your success affects your family, your community, and your future opportunities. This awareness adds meaning to your efforts. It helps you push harder on days when motivation fades. Knowing that your growth matters to others fuels your commitment. You begin to act not just for personal gain, but as a responsibility to those who believe in you and those who will benefit from your success. Daily action with a sense of duty builds confidence. The more you do, the more capable you become. That confidence then drives further action. It breaks down fears and doubts that once held you back. It turns hesitation into decisiveness. Confidence grows naturally from proving to yourself that you can follow through. This self-trust is critical for tackling bigger challenges and aiming higher. Acting like success is your duty creates a cycle of growth that builds unstoppable momentum. It's important to remember that acting with duty does not mean being perfect or never making mistakes. It means being consistent and committed, despite imperfections. It means learning from failures instead of avoiding effort out of fear. It means showing up even on tough days when enthusiasm is low. This consistency, not perfection, leads to breakthroughs. Progress comes from steady action even when it feels difficult or slow. To act every day like success is your duty, you must plan and prepare. Set clear goals and break them into daily tasks. Schedule time for work that matters and protect that time fiercely. Prepare mentally by reminding yourself why success matters to you. Create systems that make it easier to show up, such as routines, accountability partners, or progress tracking. Preparation removes excuses and supports the discipline required for daily action. Surrounding yourself with people who understand and respect your commitment strengthens your duty to success. The right environment encourages persistence and hard work. It holds you accountable when you feel tempted to quit. It provides support when challenges arise. Acting like success is your duty means choosing associations that lift you higher and avoiding influences that distract or discourage you. Your circle can either fuel your success or sabotage it. Every day is a chance to either move closer or drift farther away from your goals. Acting like success is your duty means you choose to move closer no matter what. It means making decisions that honor your dreams and potential. It means refusing to settle for less than what you are capable of achieving. When you adopt this mindset, excuses lose power and action becomes your default response. The responsibility to act does not mean you must do everything alone. It means taking initiative and being proactive about your growth. Seek knowledge, ask for help, and learn from others who have succeeded. Acting with duty is about ownership, but it's also about humility and willingness to improve. Recognize that success is a journey, and you can't do it perfectly from the start. Every step forward is progress. Acting like success is your duty strengthens your character. It teaches patience, persistence, and self-control. It trains you to delay gratification and focus on long-term rewards instead of short-term comfort. These qualities shape who you are beyond your achievements. They prepare you for any challenge life throws at you. Your commitment to daily action builds a foundation of integrity and strength that will serve you throughout life. When success is your duty, you become a leader in your own life. You inspire others by your example. You show what is possible when discipline meets determination. This leadership is not about titles or recognition, but about being someone who others can count on. It creates opportunities and builds trust in all areas of life. Acting daily with this mindset opens doors that waiting and wishing never will. You can't wait for perfect conditions to start acting like success is your duty. Waiting only delays your progress. Start now with whatever you have. Take the next right step, even if it's small. Show up consistently. Make decisions based on your goals, not your fears. This commitment, repeated daily, builds unstoppable momentum that changes your life. Success is not a one-time event but a daily responsibility. It is not about grand gestures but steady effort. It is not about luck but about choice. Every act